let's talk a little bit about some Fold stuff. So,
Foldy boy.
and just Pixel in general, because there's some
Bunch of
things
random
going on
stuff.
with 7A,
Yeah, Pixel
and
everywhere. Huh?
7 and 7 Pro on sale, and
Makes sense. We're 6 weeks out from I/O, so
Oh my god.
it's about time for that stuff to start kind of trickling in.
yeah,
Between the Pixel tablet, Pixel 7a, and what seems like the Pixel Fold as well. It's not just, like last time it was a bunch of hardware getting like, oh, look, here it is. Anyway, we got to go.
Right.
Right. I think this is going to be like a launch pad for it.
Yeah.
And they set that up last year. Like, instead of this being all software and perhaps one piece of hardware, it's like, no, this is kind of a dual threat situation going on here now. So it is what it is. So that's what I/O is going to be. And I think Apple at WWDC, they always launch a couple things, don't they? And generally speaking, they'll usually have some sessions around that stuff. So like when the Fold gets announced, they'll have some sessions about Android and foldables and making sure your app works well and blah blah blah. That kind of, so it's like there's hardware, but there's a purpose behind it here at I/O. The 7a is just one of those things. I think it just started getting launched at I/O, and they're like,
it's like it's 6 months out ish from the flagship phone, so it just kind of makes sense.
And
It would be more awkward to have a launch event for just that phone. So
they could just do a blog post. And then the Pixel tablet, obviously that could drive some sessions too.
Right.
Like building for tablet, full screen, Android on the large screen, and whatever other stuff they're going to introduce with that tablet. So all that hardware is coming pretty soon. So that's, I think, a little bit of why we're starting to see some of these leaks, because I still don't believe leaks just happen. I think there's a lot of insider information that's like, hey, go look over there. And somebody's like, oh, look, I found this.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure some of that stuff happens. It's not happened with us yet, but one of the only times we shared something that was a true leak, and that turned into like a whole thing with that HP, that was somebody on the inside saying, hey, look, I'll send this thing over to you. Like, they just offered that up. And so, that's just how this stuff happens. Like, even people that are working on stuff, like, almost can't stop themselves from wanting to leak it. So,
and it's honestly not even our stick. Like that one time it happened, it was like, I
felt uncomfortable the whole time.
Yeah, it's
not really
like if someone were to come to us as a source, I would want them to be a true anonymous source. Like we don't know who they are, we don't know how they got it, whatever. But this was a situation where like we knew that we just like no, let's not do this.
Yeah,
no more. So what do we know about the Fold?
So the Fold now, one rumor first. This was last week, actually. We were going to talk about it last week on the show and just had too many other things. But it now is slated for a June release. And so, but the 7a also, like the bigger news with the 7a coming in June. But, the Pixel Fold, it was like, are they going to show it off? Are they going to tease it? Because we haven't actually seen it. You got to remember that. So it's not like it wouldn't be that weird for Google to tease it and then do something in June or July or something, which if it's going to have Tensor 2 inside, you just can't, like, they got to stop putting this off. You got to launch the thing at some point, because then it's going to be really weird and too late to the game and all this stuff. So the 7a, though, we freely assume July, August. That's usually when it comes out. And so June is a nice shift, and it's a good shift. It doesn't change some of the awkwardness that we're going to talk about with the pricing structure, sales, and all that kind of stuff. But the 7a release in June makes a lot more sense, I think, just from a release pattern for Google. But then knowing that, or not knowing, but feeling pretty certain that a June release date for the Pixel Fold is going to be there is good. Because I was a little afraid it would show up at I/O. They'd be like, look,
shipping in the fall or something.
Anyway, and move on. More details to come.
Right.
Or in the weeks to come, or as the Google likes to put it, constantly. Like, it's always just this, like, at some point, out there, we'll talk about it again. We don't know when. So that would be cool. Because if you're talking May 10th, usually a week after, something like that, 17th goes on sale. It's probably going to ship out early June, more than likely. And so I know I'm gonna get one. Hopefully they'll send us one, but I got to figure out what to do with this thing. We'll work it out.
He's always juggling a few things.
Gotta juggle it. I've really enjoyed this phone. I could talk all day about it, but I've really wanted that Pixel Fold for a very long time. So, and then additionally with the Fold, a new rumor came out from another source. This guy contributes to 91 Mobiles, and they usually have.
Yeah, they don't write just.
They're pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good leak record going on here. So, this guy said he tweeted that it will be. It might have been the same tweet. Now I'm thinking about it, that it's available in June, but also that it's going to be in the $1,300 to $1,500 range, which is back to what 9 to 5 had posted. I don't remember how long ago it was. Yeah. 6 months ago, when they said that it was going to be cheaper. We picked that story up and ran with it, and I was like, man, that's a huge deal. If you make a decent enough foldable and it's cheaper and it undercuts, because the only other folding device like this, like big tablet / phone foldable, is Samsung. I mean, overseas there's all sorts of competition, but in the U.S. there's none.
You can't get that Oppo in the U.S.?
You can import it.
Yeah, but
what is it? Find In?
Find In. Yeah. And then you've got Huawei's got one. Xiaomi, I think, has one. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah,
like
most
Mr. Mobile
most of your major Android makers overseas have them, but
and actually, there's pretty heavy rumors that OnePlus is going to be making one. So I'm like, that one might come to the States. I don't know. And so there's no competition. So when they said it was going to be, because this was Prosser was the one that said, here's the leak, and they had all these renders. So it's like, clearly you guys got somebody on the inside. Here's this thing. Oh, by the way, it's going to be $1,799.
Right.
So I was like, oh crap, $1,800, and it's and maybe that's what it was going to be, and maybe they did some internal research and realized, like, look, we can't go try to fight Samsung on Samsung's turf. Like, we've got to have some sort of ace in the hole with this thing. And
especially when you're launching a phone that has a processor that's about to be surpassed by the next gen. That's another big issue there.
And you got to think, if it comes out in June, the new Fold, Galaxy Z Fold 5, from what the rumors I've seen, it's just going to be basically the 4. So they're going to just barely iterate again. But it'll probably have that Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 whatever for Samsung. It's the same thing. It's in this, and it's a monster processor, and the Bluetooth stack, and it's great, and like the things just work really well on it. And so then you introduce a phone right around the same time with Tensor 2, when Tensor 3 is just like right there, and like it gets dicey. But then all of a sudden, if you say it's $1,400,
makes it a little.
That's a whole different story. I mean, it's still expensive. Don't get me wrong.
But that's flagship regular handset price.
Yeah, I mean, if you bulk out one of these, I think it's $1,099 for the regular, like $256.
But I mean, even the 7 Pro the 7 Pro goes up to 12, I think if you max it out. So I mean, you can easily. There was a time where a flagship Samsung was $1,400.
Oh yeah. And so I mean, if you can undercut the direct competition, you have one phone that's your direct competition. You can undercut them by $300 or $400. Then you're talking some interesting stuff here. And to me, it's worth going with the Pixel Fold versus the Samsung, mainly just because I know I don't have to deal with. There's still some aggravations with Samsung software that I'm like, I wish I could get rid of, but everything else about this phone's been so good. It's like, I can put up with that stuff. It's whatever. Yeah. To have a folding phone that has a form factor, I think it's going to be way better. The wider, kind of shorter outside screen is going to be better. Have that and better software. That's enough almost to me. Like, I don't need a whole lot more to be like, oh well, should I pick that or the Z Fold 5? Because I do want a foldable. I really, really enjoyed my time with it. But now I don't have to make that decision. And then if it's like $300 or $400 less, no question. Like, why would I pick the Samsung up? So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not 100% like, for sure this is what it's going to be. I still am a little afraid they're going to announce it's going to be $1,800, and that makes it pretty tough. I mean, that's a
heard here first, folks. He's going to do it anyway.
I don't know. I mean, that's a lot of money to drop. Just
Joe Humphrey, what's your take?
He's getting it for sure. Not even, no question.
Here's what
Why are we even talking about that?
No question.
Here's what I'll say. Especially if we get a review unit and it's $1,800, I would make sure and test drive that thing for a while before I went and bought it.
Oh, for sure.
At that kind of price.
Absolutely.
At $1,400, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
go ahead and get it.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Especially if like T-Mobile has it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if carriers are gonna have it or not. But if T-Mobile has it, and I could just like pay this off and then do a straight swap.
They'd be foolish if they didn't. I mean, Isn't there evidence of a millimeter wave version, or is that the 7A?
That's 7A.
Okay, yeah. So,
but I mean, this thing's already showed up. I can't remember the Fold. One of the leaks or something about it was
from a retailer, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it didn't say it was a cell phone provider.
No, it might have been Best Buy or something. Or
that's my other fear with this, because it's going to be a little niche. That it's just going to, you buy it at the Google store, get it through like Fi or something. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting device for sure. Idea of having a tablet in my pocket. I love that for so many things.
For gaming,
for gaming, for
on
reading, my pockets.
for content. Like, there were just so many things I loved about the Galaxy Fold.
I'm just thinking about plane rides, man.
I just hated that.
What are the dimensions when it's folded up? How thick is it going to be folded up?
13 millimeters.
Yeah, which
it's
is
super thin. It's almost as thin. Remember the Surface Duo I had, the original? It's almost as thin as that. So when you close it up, it'll close flat. I think it's like 13 millimeters, and then there's the camera hump.
Sure.
That'll push out a little bit, but I mean, these phones with a case on them, I think, are 12.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit thicker than this.
Yeah.
Not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Not enough that's it'll probably be heavy. Just because, I mean, it's two phones.
Right.
You're carrying two cell phones.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them won't have a camera on it, basically. But both cell phones that are attached have batteries and all the stuff inside. So it's just consider it that way.
Are there batteries on both sides?
Yeah, all the foldables now have moved to that. There's somebody, was it Microsoft, or it might have been Samsung, that pioneered the whole idea of two battery cells and yada all the stuff. There's a lot of cell phones. I think this one might be one of them that actually have two battery cells in it for all these quick charge. Like OnePlus, I know does it. That's how they can do that quick charge.
Yeah.
You're basically it's charging two batteries at once instead of pushing all that. You push all that electricity into one battery, it gets very hot very fast. Yeah. Hence why Teslas get too hot and can't charge. Like, they could charge them faster, but they just catch on fire.
Yeah. Hey, everyone, thanks so much for watching this clip of the Chromecast podcast. This is just a little segment of the full show. If you liked this and you want to watch the whole show, it's linked down in the show notes. The description, not the show notes.
Not show notes.
It's just down there.
He's in podcast mode.
If you're on YouTube, it's the description.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Go down there. It's linked. You can check it out. All right. But if you like this content, give us a thumbs up. Go down there and click subscribe and click the notification bell. We'll catch you in the next one. See ya.